I was curious as to why my previous video about the Stingray being pay to win was finding a lot more viewers, but after browsing Reddit and looking into the Stingray once more, I kind of realized why, and also thought I'd dispel or even confirm some of the information that has been going around about the Stingray. So the reason this seems to be blowing up once again is because a lot more people are unlocking it and it's starting to flood almost every single lobby. Contracts have allowed for a much faster reserve earn rate, and ultra weapon bribes are giving away a lot more of these weapons. This has forced the Stingray into the open once more because people are learning or relearning why it's such a nightmare in Black Ops 4. I myself haven't been playing multiplayer as much as I used to since these reserve restricted weapons have been releasing, so I didn't even notice this was a big focus of the community until I started pulling in more viewers. So the last update we had was essentially a nerf, right? At least it was supposed to be. They reduced the 2-shot kill range with the operator mod, which was arguably the best part about this weapon. It had an extremely long 2-shot kill range. So I threw this on a class and put on long barrel with the OP mod, and I don't even notice the change. First of all, this weapon is still really good. But then I read that you don't have to lead shots anymore, and the base weapon was also really good. Prior to reading this, I assumed that the non-operator mod version of the weapon, no matter the attachments, was just garbage. This is not the case anymore. My guess is that something changed when this weapon was added into Blackout possibly, because the projectile speed is actually noticeably faster in online matches. In fact, I felt like it was almost changed to Hitscan. So the weapon I tested this against in split screen was the ABR, another tactical rifle and the closest thing to it, except the ABR is Hitscan. This means your bullets are hitting where your reticle is placed when you fire. Well, even without any attachments, it looks like the Stingray takes just as long to cause damage to a player at extreme range. I calculated exactly 6 frames for both the ABR and the Stingray. The starting point was the exact frame that the gun recoiled from the first shot to when the enemy player took damage. I had also done this test when the Stingray was first released, and although I don't remember the exact numbers, I do know that there was a noticeable delay. 6 frames is essentially what I was getting from engine lag, which is why that isn't instant. I just want to clarify that. Even on LAN, there is a small delay. So at some point, the projectile speed was sped up significantly and nearly matches Hitscan. I'm not sure if it's exactly Hitscan, but it's too close to really determine a difference anymore. In essence, this is a major buff to the Stingray. Its biggest weakness was a projectile delay. With or without the operator mod, this is almost gone entirely. Throw on the operator mod, long barrel, and grip, and it's even stronger than it was at launch because of this huge increase in projectile speed. I even used it for a while without the operator mod, and it was pretty good. Okay, now as for some other fact checking on a few things I've seen. Flak Jacket does protect you against being 2-shot by this with the operator mod, but it doesn't negate the damage bonus entirely. I've seen people claim that this is the case and it just reduces the damage down to what you'd be getting hit with without the operator mod, but it is not. You are still vulnerable to headshots as well, so don't be surprised if you still get one-tapped while wearing Flak Jacket. The next thing I've seen people incorrectly claim is that the operator mod used to deal splash damage, but they removed it eventually. I've had this weapon since day 1 of it being released, and I had the operator mod unlocked that same day. I tested this immediately and there was no splash damage. There isn't even technically penetration damage since it shoots actual projectiles that stick into surfaces but don't go all the way through. This is where I can see some potential damage being inflicted against 2 people. I tested the thin walls on firing range, and because the projectiles were sticking through the wall slightly, I was able to get a kill through it. I can't test this on split screen with 3 players, but that might be worth looking into with 2 players standing very close to each other. The same projectile could be making contact with both of them. The explosive effect that you see is essentially just a visual effect. The last thing I want to touch on is trophy systems. I'm not sure how this started or where it came from, but some people think that trophies block the explosive projectiles on the operator mod. This is simply not true. If this was true, everyone would be using these at this point to negate how many Stingrays are in play. Even then, the Stingray without the operator mod is now a very viable weapon. I feel like this would be a surefire way to exploit your score streaks as well. It just doesn't work. So in short, yeah, the Stingray is much better than it was at launch. The nerfs have done very little, but increasing the projectile speed has managed to actually buff the weapon above what it used to be. Treyarch needs to do something, but when I look at the black market and how much money they're charging for all of the new content lately, simply because they have bundled it with non-dupe supply drops instead of regular supply drops, I realize that they only see dollar signs right now. So don't be surprised if these Stingray or other weapons become directly purchasable for around $25 or more, since that's around the price point they're shooting for in the black market. It would not surprise me if Treyarch even thought that they were doing the community a favor with a move like that. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, but there's really nothing enjoyable about knowing one of the strongest weapons is locked behind a slot machine. A like and subscribe is always appreciated. It really helps me out and you won't miss out on future videos from me. I'll see you next time.